There's a special kind of pride that you feel deep down inside, a strength that seems to thrive in Lima, Allen County.
The American way of life, to get in gear and do what's right.
An unbreakable forthright link called real American strength. Lima, Allen County, real American strength. Forever moving forward without forgetting where we've been.
Creativity meets technology, where possibilities never end.
Ohio's strong Midwestern know-how, exploring innovative ideas. Deep-rooted but always growing, ever proud of where we live. Lima, Allen County, real American strength.
Community Focus on GTV2 Lima.
Thanks for joining us on Community Focus. I'm Anne Decker. Summer is finally here. The kids are out of school and people are outside enjoying themselves, which is great, but we need to set a few rules for the kids and for the adults too. Joining us in the studio today are Lieutenants Ron Holman and Brian Leary from the Lima Police Department, and we're going to tell you how to have fun safely this summer. You guys want to start off with the curfew and when people are allowed to be out?
Yeah, actually the curfew changes being in June for juveniles. Below the ages of 13, it's 9 p.m. From 13 to 15, it's 10 p.m. And from 16 to 17, it's midnight. And it's the same every night, all summer long since school's out. If you're not accompanied by an adult, you need to be off the streets.
Playing in your own yards okay?
If you're out there and your parents know where you're at and you're at your residence there, then that's okay then. But the primary thing that we see is that we'll get groups of juveniles that'll be out past that time at night, and that generally is when they get into trouble.
And what do you guys do if you see a group of juveniles out?
Well, if it looks like they're below the age that they should be for the curfew, officers will stop and identify them and confirm their age, and if they're out past curfew, we'll end up taking them into custody and taking them home to mom and dad.
Well, that's scary. I'm sure mom and dad don't like to see that.
Well, sometimes mom and dad didn't know what they were up to. They're very happy that we found them. If they did, then that's something we'll straighten out then at the time.
Okay, but it's pretty much just a warning at this point.
It can be a charge for curfew.
No kidding.
Absolutely, yeah, it's arrestable. Yeah,
okay.
To be a delinquency charge. Yeah.
Okay, so don't claim ignorance. I mean, pay attention to the kids and know where they are this summer.
And occasionally this summer we'll be running special operations targeting that type of behavior.
Okay.
Anyone out past curfew.
Okay. One of the other problems that I've noticed on a pretty much regular basis is the kids playing in the streets. They set up the basketball hoops, or, they're playing catch in the middle of the street. What are the rules about that?
The basketball hoops are not allowed to be in the street.
Period.
And pedestrian traffic, if there are sidewalks available, you have to use the sidewalks. If the sidewalks aren't available, then you have to walk as close to the berm or the side of the road as you can and into oncoming traffic.
You walk facing the traffic if you're not on the sidewalk.
Facing the traffic, the left side of the roadway.
Okay, but that's not true if you're riding a bicycle.
Bicycles, no. If you're riding a bicycle, you have to obey normal traffic laws, and you have to ride on the right side of the roadway with traffic.
And that's not just the law, it's common sense. You don't want to be riding into traffic and get hit, because it can happen.
It can and does. Actually, a little more frequently, I think, than maybe some people think, where we have traffic accidents involving bicycles or pedestrians.
What about riding the bicycle on the sidewalk?
In the downtown area, that's actually prohibited. There's a certain designated streets where downtown ends, where they're not supposed to have any bicycle traffic on the sidewalks. It has to be on the street. Outside of that, it changes a little bit, but we actually, because of the congested traffic, that's why that law was put into place, that city ordinance years and years ago.
Okay.
I'd like to, the biggest concern we get every summer is the loud music. Anytime we've done surveys in various neighborhoods and asked them what their biggest concerns are, and number one has always been loud music, especially in the summertime when weather gets warmer, people roll their windows down. That's a fairly hefty fine if you are cited for that. It's if it's amplified bass is usually what we get the biggest complaints about, the really loud booming bass. If it's audible from a certain distance away, I mean, that is a citable offense.
So it's just you guys have to be able to hear it from a certain feet away.
We need to be able to articulate what we heard, how loud it was, how far away we were. All that is in the narrative of the citation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you just go write tickets. Pretty much you don't warn people for the loud music, correct?
Generally, no. Generally, no. Every situation is a little different,
Sure.
but usually we try to take as much of a zero tolerance as we can on that.
Okay.
Because it is such a big concern.
Like he said, when you go to the neighborhood association meetings, that's the biggest complaint.
Well, it is
It's one
annoying.
of the biggest.
You know, they pull up next to you and you can't even hear what's going on around you.
Right.
What if it's a neighbor having a loud party? What are the rules about that?
That also, across property lines, if it's too loud or if it's a nuisance to the neighbors, then yes, we can.
Okay.
If we come and deem that too loud, we can cite people also for that.
All right. But speaking of noise, we're coming up on the 4th of July, and I know a lot of people like backyard fireworks displays. What are the rules about fireworks?
You can't discharge fireworks, the ones that will shoot off in the city limits.
Okay.
Basically, it's sparklers and smoke bombs.
And that's it.
That's it.
Okay. And pretty much we've got the Star Spangled Spectacular coming up, 4th of July, and if people want to see a great fireworks display, we can go there and
Yes.
Absolutely.
not do it in our backyards. Let's talk dogs as well. We've recently seen some differences on the state level regarding what is a vicious dog and what isn't. Did anything change in the city of Lima?
No. That's staying the same as far as pit bulls are concerned. Still against the law. If you're walking, a pit bull has to have a muzzle on it with a chain, and a person 18 years or older has to be in control of that dog. If it's on your property, it has to be in a secured fence with a top. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Has to be in a secured fence with a top on it, and the cage has to be locked.
Okay. And that's something else that you guys are giving citations for, if you
Yes.
spot the dogs
Yes.
out. Okay. Is there anything else we need to cover for the summertime rules?
I believe
I think we covered the basics.
I think that's pretty
And
much it.
If people do have questions regarding anything we've discussed, they can call LPD, can't they?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd recommend they call the front desk. It's 419-221-5264. There's an officer that mans that 24 hours a day. And if you have questions reference a particular ordinance or not, they'd be happy to explain that to you.
Wonderful. Appreciate you both coming in today.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having us.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome. Lieutenants Ron Holman and Brian Leary from the Lima Police Department. When we come back, we'll tell you about the upcoming garden tour for Crossroads Crisis Center, right after this on GTV2.
Reduce, recycle, reuse. Allied Waste Services and the City of Lima encourage you to live green by recycling all that you can. Recycling promotes green living by reducing the amount of waste materials buried in landfills. This saves money, natural resources, and energy. Keep our environment healthy and start recycling today. Allied Waste Services is committed to a clean environment. Contact us today for your recycling needs. Visit our website, republicservicesohio.com, to learn more about recycling today.
Lima City Council has recently amended the city's vicious dog ordinance to deal with potential problems concerning dangerous dogs in the public.
The ordinance is comprehensive. However, here are some key elements that all dog owners and their neighbors should be aware of.
Any dog that is considered a breed of pit bull is considered a vicious dog regardless of its temperament.
A vicious dog is any dog that attacks, bites, or causes injury to a person or domestic animal with or without provocation.
Not under control of the owner and secure with a muzzle and a leash of 6 feet or less in length, all vicious dogs must be confined when outside in a pen with a secured top and bottom, or with the sides of the pen embedded at least 1 foot deep into the ground.
If you're a dog owner and have concerns about any dogs in your neighborhood, visit limapolicedepartment.com to find out more about the city's vicious dog ordinance.
The fine for non-compliance is $150 per citation, and ignorance of the law is not a defense.
If there's an emergency situation, call local law enforcement for immediate assistance.
I present to you Algebra 2, Foreign Languages, and finally, Biology. Who among you will step up to their challenge?
Me.
Yeah, I'll do it. Me too. Sign me up.
Take on the tough classes now. you need them to prepare for college.
We're back on Community Focus. I'm Anne Decker, and I'm pleased to welcome to the studio today Emily Renscher. She is the director of Crossroads Crisis Center, and their annual garden tour is coming up on June 24th. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us, Anne. Yeah, the garden tour has grown to be quite an event. It's really nice to see the different gardens and the different ways people display things, and anywhere from unusual flowers to shrubbery to statues and fountains and anything in between.
It's a great place to get ideas for your own garden.
Oh, absolutely. And a good time of year for it, too.
Oh, yeah, because everything's in bloom and it's lush. And I'm looking at the list, and this is quite a list of gardens you've got.
We have 11 gardens this year,
wow,
and each one unique in their own right.
Anything special we should be looking for?
Something special in each one of them. Yeah.
Okay. Do people get tickets ahead of time? Can they buy them at the gate?
They can buy them at each garden. We'll have flyers at DeHaven's, at H2O, and they're hanging at various places in town. And any questions, they can call the shelter at 419-228-4357. And if you have one address, then you can purchase the ticket at the first house you go to, at the first garden, and that ticket will take you to all the other gardens. You just have to show the ticket at each one.
Well, it looks like a lot of them are fairly centrally located, too. In fact, you can walk to some of them, just one to the other.
Yeah, I believe there's 5 right in the Market Street Boulevard area.
Oh, and I've been dying to get into some of those gardens. They look so beautiful from the road.
Yeah, and some of them you can't see from the road, which just kind of makes it a surprise.
A little secret garden.
Tucked-in secret garden, yeah.
Okay. What are you going to do with the proceeds from the tour?
The proceeds it just goes to help the shelter, any of the many expenses, but it all goes to direct victim services.
Okay. How many women and children are you serving?
Well, last year we served 2,600, a little over 2,600 women and children.
That's incredible.
It is. And when you stop to think of that amount of domestic violence going on right in our community, then that just makes it's a tragedy to start with, and it's an individual tragedy, but it's a tragedy to our community, too.
Are these women that are seeking to run away and staying in your shelter, or do they need help in a transition, or what are they coming to you for?
Well, both, all of the above. For safe emergency shelter reasons, for court advocacy, we have a court advocate at Lima Municipal Court daily to help the victim just through the legal process and help them obtain either temporary protection orders or civil protection orders, or just kind of help them through that court maze. Also, the transitional housing, we have 6 units scattered throughout the city. Then a person that just isn't able to stand on their own yet, but yet they don't need the emergency shelter, then that's kind of a long-term housing program to help them take the next step to self-sufficiency. We also have our victim support group. We do a lot of safety planning, a lot of crisis intervention, the 24-hour crisis line. So there's just many programs. Our juvenile programs, we have programming in Allen County Juvenile Detention Center. We are at North Middle School every week. We have programming for intervention services. We also have children's program. We're starting a child sexual assault awareness and prevention program. So we're just always increasing, expanding, and all that's just driven on victim needs.
And pretty much most of your support comes from donations.
Absolutely, yes. We're a United Way member agency, and we get various grants, but there's always that. Well, just imagine that the amount of money it takes to run your own household times a whole lot more.
Well, I imagine it's not just money, but do you need paper products, toiletries?
Absolutely. Everything. Cleaning products. the amount of Kleenex and toilet paper and paper towels that we go through on an annual basis is pretty significant.
I'd imagine. If people do want to help you out, how do they get in touch with you?
They can call directly to the shelter, 419-228-4357.
Okay. And again, the garden tour, if they're interested, give us date, time, and at least a few of the starting locations.
Sunday, June 24th from 1 to 6. The tickets are $15 each. And again, they can be purchased at each of the houses. Some of the addresses is 2321 West Market. I have a 2507 Debbie Drive, and there's 2 houses there right next to each other. The 2321 West Market, the 1168 West High, 1414 West Market, 1068 West Market, and 1064 West Market are kind of all grouped together. And if people would like for, the 2321 is kind of down on the west end of the boulevard, so they'd need to drive down there. But the other locations on the boulevard, if they would like to, they could park at Market Street Presbyterian Church in the parking lot and just kind of walk to them. They're all kind of within a couple block area there. The one on 3120 Pro Drive is the Pro Drive off Zimmerly Road in front of Shawnee High School, not the other Pro Drive off Fort Amanda. So that's always something we like to say. There's one in Elida, a beautiful Victorian in Elida at 2770 Dutch Hollow Road. There's 115 West Breese Avenue, which I believe is on the corner of Breese and McLean. Well,
that's plenty to start off with.
Yeah.
So we can just stop by any of these houses, drive down the street, look for the sign, stop in and get your ticket
there will be a white sign in the shape of a house with a big pink flower on it.
Okay.
In the front of each of the houses.
Okay. And your phone number one more time for more information.
419-228-4357, which is 228-HELP.
Okay, and that's also the helpline if anybody out there watching does need assistance.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Emily Rensher from Crossroads Crisis Center. When we come back, we'll tell you how you can sign up for the next class of Allen Lima Leadership right after this on GTV2.
I didn't want to be touched. He said it would feel good, but it didn't. So he gave me a new doll and some candy. He told me not to tell anybody and that it's our special secret. How do I make him stop?
Say no. Run away. Scream. It's okay to tell an adult you trust if someone is hurting you or making you uncomfortable. Feel safe. Feel strong. Feel free.
They're down below. Lines, supply, and utilities we count on day and night.
Sorry, Dad!
And knowing where these lines are located before you dig matters.
Sorry, Dad!
For every project of every size, call the Ohio Utilities Protection Service at least 48 hours before you dig. It's fast, free, and it's the law. Because keeping Ohio safe,
Daddy, can I help?
matters most. Call the Ohio Utilities Protection Service before you dig.
Bring out the action hero in you. Fuel up right and get energized. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
Thanks for joining us today on Community Focus. I'm Anne Decker, and Micki Vollmer is in the studio today with Allen Lima Leadership. On her way out of Allen Lima Leadership, you've announced your retirement. But before you go, you're recruiting for the 25th class.
Yes, how exciting.
It is exciting.
It's just something that I've looked forward to for a couple years, and I knew that I wanted to stay through the 25th class. And so it's just exciting. We're going to do some fun things this year. We're coming up with a new logo. We're going to just do some new things. We've got Danger Gate coming. We've got another full youth leadership class. It's just an exciting time for Allen Lima Leadership.
Well, it's always an exciting time for Allen Lima Leadership.
Well, pretty much.
If anybody is interested in learning leadership and getting an in-depth look at our community and how it works and networking with new people, this is the place to be.
Absolutely. You know, we take one day a month. People think that it's going to take too much of their time. But I'll tell you what, by the end of the season, they're saying, do we have to stop? I love this. Can we do it another year? It's just a way to connect with the community, to give back to the community, to find out what's out there, what's perception, what's reality. And after every session, they go, you know, Lima has so much to offer, just so much to offer, and there's so many good things, and we just need to see it and hear it.
So what is a typical Allen Lima Leadership class like? What will they be doing?
Well, it's a hands-on experiential session. We go out and we talk to different businesses about their business practices, their business philosophies. We tour the facilities, it's hands-on, and we just talk about different things in the community and how we could benefit and how the community benefits from every organization that's here.
And this is once a month? No homework or classwork in between?
No. Well, we do a ride-along with the police officers, which is
fun.
extra. So, I mean, there are some fun activities that we do, and a lot of it's optional. But, you know, it's a one day a month, and we take a different topic each month. We talk about criminal justice, education, economic development, health and social services, the media, diversity, agriculture. You name it, government and small businesses, you name it, we talk about it, we see it, we touch it, we feel it, and it's really an exciting program, and we have so much fun, but yet we're still learning.
How do people sign up for it?
It's very easy. They can go online to allenlimaleadership.com. They can call the office at 419-222-2711. They can come to the chamber and get an application. So they can just give me a call. I'll send them an application. But you know what? This year everybody's doing it online, which makes it so much easier. So yeah, it's really exciting, and the younger generation is definitely doing that. It was interesting because I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, how has it changed? And I said, well, you know what? When I first started, the average age was 44. Now the average age is 39. So it's a little bit younger generation, but they're trying to do a little bit more with growth professionally as well as personally, and we do a little bit of that in the class as well. And so they are the up and coming, those who are going to be the next leaders of our generation.
Well, and speaking of the next leaders, you're offering the youth program for the high school students too.
Absolutely, and we got a full class again this year, and that information will be going out to them shortly. And you know, we get over 100 applicants for the youth leadership program from 13 area schools, and they meet 4 times a year, and it's for sophomores and juniors, so that once they take the class, they can apply what they've learned the next year before they go off to college. And you know, I found some interesting leadership youth that have gone on to college and done leadership things, and to hear the parents talk about their students, it's just so exciting to know that they're out there doing what we want them to do.
And they're really impressive kids.
Oh,
they are.
Impressive. Our graduation in April we had 3 youth speakers, and they were very impressive. So we're very proud of the youth of Allen County. There's a lot to be said about that, and we're just glad that we get to see some of them.
In addition to the tuition for the classes, you have some fundraisers, and you also need corporate sponsors to keep Allen Lima Leadership going.
Absolutely. We are a standalone organization. We are a part of the Lima Area Chamber Foundation, which of course is our nonprofit status. So anybody that contributes can write it off. But we have Danger Gate coming up in the fall.
Which is so much fun.
And that is so much fun. We had over 1,000 people there last year. And it's September 29th, and it's the Michigan State-Ohio State game.
Oh, no kidding.
So it's going to probably be an afternoon game, but you know they're so late at getting the information out as to what time the actual game is. But hopefully it'll be like a 3:30 game, which would be perfect. We could have the Danger Brothers before, during halftime, and for an hour afterwards. And we just party, and it's a great time.
This really is Allen County's best tailgate party.
It is a great tailgate party. You get to hear the Danger Brothers. You get to tailgate for the OSU game, and it's just like Danger Gate, or well, we call it Danger Gate, Heine Gate in Columbus, exactly. So it's really a lot of fun, and it's a way to support the community.
And this is where, at the fairgrounds still?
Yes, in the Smithhorse Pavilion.
So rain or shine, it
rain
doesn't
or
matter.
shine, it doesn't matter, but boy, we had some great weather last year, so we're hoping for the same this year.
Are tickets on sale already?
Not yet, but we are getting sponsors, so they can go to the website, click on the Danger Brothers, click that I have, and then they can fill out the sponsor form.
Oh, wonderful.
And just send it back in, and I'm starting to get those already, so.
Well, yeah, everybody wants to be part of this.
Yes, it'll be fun and exciting, and it's just another way to say, go OSU.
Give us your website address.
AllenLimaLeadership.com.
Easy enough to remember. And your phone number.
419-222-2711.
Okay, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
You're
it's
welcome.
always a pleasure.
Micki Vollmer from Allen Lima Leadership. When we come back, we'll update you on what's happening at the Chamber of Commerce right after this on GTV2.
Crime Stoppers is still active in the Allen, Putnam, and Van Wert counties. Our goal is to assist area law enforcement officers to identify and locate individuals who have committed crimes. If you have any information about anyone who is responsible for committing crimes, please call Crime Stoppers at area code 419-229-STOP.
Crime Stoppers, Crime Stoppers, make the call and pays Crime Stoppers.
This is a nice neighborhood. It is. Is that the house we live in, Mom? Yes. Look at all the kids around here, Mom. I like this house.
Hi, we're here about the house.
It's rented.
It's against the law to deny people the opportunity to live where they want and can afford. If you feel that you've been treated unfairly, give LACA a call and we'll look into your complaint. LACA's fair housing services are free, so call today and get the housing you deserve. 419-227-2586.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone, but you're not alone. At IAVA.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. IAVA.org. We've got your back.
Welcome back to Community Focus. I'm Anne Decker, and pleased to welcome Jed Metzger to the studio today with the Lima-Allen County Chamber of Commerce. And we don't usually get the pleasure of having you stopping in.
No, we don't. And it's just was an opportunity that came along, and so I said, yeah, Cindy, I will come and talk with Anne. I haven't seen her for a while, so yes.
Well, great. I'm thrilled to see you. You've got this fascinating seminar coming up at the end of this month about oil sands development.
Yes, this is something that I've been intrigued about for a while, and we have the speaker, Don Thompson. He's with Canadian Oil Sands, and his topic is pretty much, it's not all about Canada, it's all about economic development for the Northern America. And he will go into detail. You have two times. You can see him from 4:30 to 6:30 at the at Shawnee Country Club, or that's a little bit longer presentation, or at Wake, Rattle, and Roll. At the also the next day, the 29th, and Don will sort of enlighten people in trying to explain what oil sands are, the tar sands from Canada, and the application, the economic benefits to business and to the entire region. And most people think, well, Canada has all the oil sands, and so it's only benefiting them, but it does benefit us as well. So Don will be talking about that, and it's just he will go into a little bit more detail on how the process of shooting the steam down to get the oil sands out and that. Now, most people don't realize, Ann, that Canada has a lot of oil, and now that they have the technology today to extract that through this new process, that it will be good for both countries.
And will Don be tying that into how it could specifically benefit the Husky refinery here in Lima?
I'm assuming he certainly will. I mean, Husky is a partner with him. He pretty much goes out and speaks about the oil sands, so I would assume that he would tie it into the benefits. I don't think he's going to reveal any trade secrets, but how it will benefit refining and possibly benefit Husky here. Which, you know, again, that's one of the things that Husky was going to put a lot of infrastructure in a while back for the tar sands. They weren't quite ready, but, you know, I think as things go forward, you'll see a lot more activity with the Canadian oil sands.
Do you have to be a chamber member to go see this, the forum on oil sands?
You do not have to be a chamber member, but it's limited. The sponsor has limited so many people, so it's first comes, first serve on that. But again, his presentation will be at least 15 minutes and focus at Wake Ground Rolls, so that's another opportunity. So yeah, just call us. We'll let you know if there's space available, and I think it'll be certainly an interesting topic that most people will go, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a good learning experience.
Yeah.
One of the other things the Chamber is involved in right now is the workforce credentialed community. Do you want to explain what that is?
Yes, economic development and the Chamber have sort of partnered together in a process that we call workforce credentialing. As we look at the Auto Task Force, Mayor David Berger brought us together with the Auto Task Force, the manufacturers, to try to find out the needs of our manufacturers in the area of workforce, as well as economic development. And the Chamber sits on a lot of committees, a lot of task force, which deals with the same type of topics. And so economic development and the Chamber has decided together we will be a neutral organization, because we're neutral organizations in this area, and we'll try to start working as a community and pulling everybody together underneath one umbrella. No one gets the credit, we all get the credit, but to focus on developing workforce credentials, because if our community, when economic development goes out and they're talking with companies, we can say we have a great workforce, but what does that mean? So we want a credentialed workforce, a workforce that is talented and skilled and meets the needs of our customers, our businesses coming to our community. So we're going to drive that through STEM, as many people have heard, science, technology, engineering, math, because it doesn't matter whether you're a plumber or pipe fitter, you need trigonometry, you need algebra. It doesn't matter whether you're an engineer, you need some of the same skill sets, science and math. And technology is driving everything. If you want to get a position at Ford today, you're going to have some type of a 2-year degree in some type of technology area. So we want to prepare our workforce for the future, and working together collaboratively as a community and as a region, we feel that we can sort of pull together and make something really positive happen.
So are you going to go company to company and college to college to find out who's there and what their skills are?
One of the things that Allen Economic Development is charged with the Ohio Jobs is that they have to do business retention calls. Last year, I think they did over 130.
I know they stopped by here, in fact.
And so this year, I know that they have to do at least 96. And so I go out and talk with businesses, too. It makes more sense if I am talking with businesses and Jeff Sprague or Marcel Wagner's talking to businesses that we use some of the same documentation and the same database. And then the governor, through the workforce development sector, wants to have all the 2-year colleges have a certain format in which they go and talk with businesses. So it does make a lot of sense. We're all talking to businesses. Their time is very valuable. So how can we work together as a community and then take all that data and have it at one source that everybody can use? Whether you're writing grants or whether you're trying to look at the skill sets for the future, then we will all know the same information. So we're trying to work together with the colleges, the universities, K through 12, as well as economic development organizations in the regions and chambers in the regions to put together this model, which we think is a model the state really would like to see in the future.
Well, it sounds like an ambitious project.
It is.
When are you going to have it finished?
I think it's always a work. I don't think it ever is finished. It's a work in progress. It takes, and if you're looking from, we're working on some other initiatives, which is it's called Strive in Cincinnati. Organizations called Strive, and what they do is focus on pre-kindergarten all the way through 12 years of school and then beyond, and trying to figure out, and they focus on just 1 or 2 things that can help the child be successful, to get the graduation rates up, to get them to do better on ACT or the high jobs, graduation test, those type of things. So it's all these things work together. and we're trying to work together as a community. I think everybody's on the same page now. I mean, before it was just everybody had their own little areas that they wanted to concentrate on, but you have a lot more collaborative relationships today than what we've had in the future. So I think the time is right.
Good.
That we strive to work toward those goals.
Well, working together, hopefully we can bring more jobs into the community.
And that's where you get to the workforce credentials. You start with the pre-kindergarten all the way up through the STRIVE, and then you go through the STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, which leads to a credentialed community.
Well, good luck with it.
Thank you.
Jed, if people do want more information about the oil sands development or anything going on at the Chamber, because I know you've got a variety of things that come up on a regular basis. They get it from your website?
They can get it from the website, or if they have any questions, they always can call the Chamber at 419-222-6045.
Great. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you, Ann.
Jed Metzger from the Chamber.